You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In the realm of justice, there is one fundamental truth that underpins every case: the law must be followed. Regardless of who you are or what accusations you face, due process is the bedrock of our legal system. Yet in some cases the line between following the law and disregarding it becomes dangerously blurred. Today, we're going to examine a critical issue in the legal battle surrounding Robert Kelly, better known to the world as R. Kelly. The government's lack of statutory authority to seize commissary funds without following established procedures, including the failure to file a notice of lien or default in the issue of finalized restitution. To truly understand the situation at hand, we first need to break down the laws surrounding the seizure of funds, including those held in prison commissary accounts. Under the U.S. law, specifically in cases involving restitution and debt owed to the government, there are strict statutory procedures that must be adhered to. Two key principles govern this process: the filing of a notice of default and the filing of a notice of lien against the defendant's property, in this case commissary funds. A notice of default is essentially a formal declaration that a person has failed to meet a financial obligation, like paying restitution, and that the creditor, in this case the government, intends to take action. A notice of lien, on the other hand, is a legal claim against the defendant's property, ensuring that the debt can be satisfied if necessary. But here's the key point: these notices are not mere formalities. They are required by law. And without them, the government has no legal authority to seize funds, including those in prison commissary accounts, no matter how serious the underlying charges may be. Prison commissary accounts are often overlooked in these discussions, but they are a critical resource for incarcerated individuals. Funds in commissary accounts are used for essential items like food, hygiene products, and writing materials, which can greatly improve living conditions in prison. The seizure of these funds without proper legal procedure is not just a violation of the law, it can also deprive inmates of basic necessities. But there's another critical issue at play here, and it's one that many people overlook. In criminal cases, restitution refers to the compensation a defendant must pay to victims or the government as part of their sentencing. However, restitution must be finalized before any enforcement action, such as the seizure of commissary funds, can legally occur. What does finalized restitution mean? It means that the court has completed all necessary hearings, calculations, and orders to determine exactly what amount is owed. Until that process is complete, any attempt to seize funds, including commissary funds, is premature and unlawful. In the case of R. Kelly, there is strong evidence to suggest that restitution had not yet been finalized at the time the government seized his commissary funds. If this is true, it represents a serious breach of statutory procedure. The government cannot act as if restitution is finalized when it has not yet met its own legal obligations to formalize the amount owed. This is not a minor technicality, but a fundamental issue of due process. By law, no individual, celebrity or otherwise, should be subject to fund seizure before the legal process has been properly and fully carried out. At this point, some viewers may be asking, why does it matter? After all, R. Kelly has faced serious accusations and convictions. Isn't the government justified in pursuing his assets, including his commissary funds? Here's the answer: due process matters for everyone. It is not a reserve for the innocent, the wealthy, or the popular, and besides, R. Kelly's conviction has so many loopholes and cannot be final. Due process is a constitutional right enshrined in the 5th and 14th Amendments, ensuring that no one is deprived of life, liberty, or property without fair legal proceedings. The government cannot pick and choose when to follow the law and when to ignore it. If they are allowed to sidestep statutory requirements in one case, what's to stop them from doing it in another? It sets a dangerous precedent, one that erodes the rights of everyone in our society. R. Kelly may be a controversial figure, but that does not diminish his legal rights. If the government wishes to seize commissary funds, they must follow the law to the letter, just as they would for any other defendant. Filing notices, finalizing restitution, these are not optional steps. They are legal requirements that ensure fairness, transparency and accountability. What's happening in R. Kelly's case is not an isolated issue. Time and again, we've seen instances where legal safeguards are overlooked in the name of expediency or public pressure. But the law is not meant to bend to public opinion. It is meant to stand firm, providing equal protection to all individuals. The seizure of commissary funds without due process is a direct violation of the legal rights that protect us all. If we allow these breaches to go unchecked, we open the door to a system where rights are ignored, and due process becomes a mere suggestion rather than a requirement. Defending the rights of R. Kelly or any defendant is not about excusing behavior or ignoring guilt. It is about upholding the rule of law. Commissary funds cannot be seized without proper notice. Restitution cannot be enforced before it is finalized. These are not just procedural steps. They are the foundation of a fair legal system. In conclusion, the government's actions in R. Kelly's case raises serious questions about due process and statutory authority. Whether you support or condemn the man himself, the issue at hand transcends any individual. It's about ensuring that the law is applied fairly, consistently and transparently to all. If we truly value justice, we must demand that the government follows its own rules. Filing notices of default and lien, finalizing restitution, these are not just legal steps. They are safeguards that protect everyone. Justice must be pursued, but it must also be done lawfully. Thank you for watching. For more content that examines the intersections of law, justice and fairness, let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant and stand for justice always. If you want to be featured in our video releases, send us your clips by emailing them to hnnewsroom242@gmail.com or use Google Drive for larger files. Be sure to include your name and any details you'd like us to know. We can't wait to showcase your contributions. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.